Every year, millions choose cremation, believing it's clean and simple. But behind closed doors, a disturbing reality lurks, one that will make you question everything. Cremation, modern, clean, ideal. We see it as an easy way out. No coffin, no burial, just ashes to scatter or keep. The perfect ending, it seems. But that's just the surface. Millions opt for cremation annually. It's becoming the norm. The percentage keeps growing. Why? It's cheaper, we hear. Saves space. More hygienic. I don't want to rot in the ground. These reasons seem logical, progressive. But here's the catch. We're making this choice with incomplete information. We only see the pretty picture, the farewell room, the urn. That's it. No one tells you what happens in between, what "just burn the body" really means. Think of buying a house. You see the facade, the perfect rooms, but the basement, the foundation, hidden. We're buying an idea, an illusion. What's behind the curtain? What details are left out? These aren't minor details. They'll change how you view cremation forever. And nobody dares to say it out loud. We believe we're making the best choice. But what if that decision is based on half the story? What if we're missing something vital? Is all this cleanliness and simplicity just a carefully crafted mask? We deserve the full truth. What if I told you what happens behind those crematory doors is so different from what you imagine? You'll never see the process the same way again. Get ready to learn what they don't want you to know. We talked about the facade. Now, let's go where the public isn't allowed. Behind those closed doors where the real process happens. It's not just burning a body. It's a complex, sometimes shocking procedure, far from what grieving families picture. When the body arrives at the crematorium, the final journey begins. First, strict identification to avoid mistakes. It's crucial. But after that, things get less aesthetic. The body is placed in a special chamber, not just any oven. This is high-tech equipment that generates temperatures of 1400 to 1800 degrees Fahrenheit, sometimes even higher. Imagine that heat. Inside, the body doesn't just burn, it literally vaporizes. Organs, soft tissue, skin, hair all turn into gas and tiny particles of ash in a few hours, usually 2 to 3. It's an intense, irreversible process. And it's not always clean and silent as we like to believe. The process involves not only hellish heat, but also a strong airflow that aids combustion. There can be specific sounds related to the body's reaction to extreme temperatures. Due to gas buildup, sometimes there are small explosions. Yes, not something you'll see in brochures or movies. This is the harsh physical reality. After the fire does its work, only bone fragments remain. They are very brittle, but not the fine, uniform ashes we picture. These are large, charred pieces. They're not ready for the urn yet. It's just an intermediate step, far from the image we have when we think of ashes. Here it is, the reality hidden from view. No romance, no silence, just a harsh industrial process designed to turn a body into something else. It's not just disappearing. It's a transformation that makes you think. And that's just the beginning. Because what happens next is even less known. What happens to those remains before they reach the urn? Ashes to ashes? Forget that when it comes to cremation. What you get in the urn isn't ash, but pulverized bone fragments, processed through a special machine. And this reality after fire is more shocking than the burning itself. So, the furnace has done its job. The body is now embers and fragments. But not that fine, ethereal ash we imagine. No, these are large, brittle pieces of bone, sometimes still holding their shape. Picture it, calcined, charred remains. they still need to be prepared for the urn. Next, these bone fragments go to a cremulator. It's a powerful grinder. It works to grind everything into a fine dust, to create the ashes that are given to the family. It sounds pretty mechanical, because it is. It's an industrial process. But what about other things? Metal implants, pins, teeth with amalgam? They don't burn in the furnace. After cremation, they are carefully removed, sometimes manually, sometimes with powerful magnets. These metal remains are then disposed of, or recycled. So, when you hold the urn, those parts aren't there. And here's where it gets interesting. What you receive in the urn isn't 100% human remains. It's a mixture. It may contain remnants of the coffin, clothing, even particles of refractory materials from the furnace, all ground together. Imagine how different that is from the idealized image of ashes. It's not a pure symbol. It's the product of a complex mechanical process. And that knowledge changes everything. Because many families believe they are receiving the pure remains of a loved one. But in reality, that's not entirely true. It's just a part of the truth about cremation that they prefer not to say. And it hits hard for those seeking comfort in this final choice. After her husband's cremation, she thought the difficulties were over. But when the urn arrived, she realized it was just the beginning. And what she had to face next, no one could have predicted, and no one warned her about. We've already seen that cremation isn't just disappearing, but there's another side to this process that they prefer to keep quiet about. It's a hidden cost, a price paid not only by the family, but also by our planet. And it touches on ethics too. Think cremation is eco-friendly? At first glance, yes. No land, no cemetery plot. But look deeper. To reach those 1400 to 1800 degrees Fahrenheit, crematories burn huge amounts of fossil fuels, gas, electricity. Every time the furnace runs, a lot of carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere. It's a direct contribution to climate change. And that's not all. The body releases far more than just harmless gases. Mercury, for example, it's in dental fillings. At that temperature, mercury vaporizes. And where does it go? Straight into the air. Then it settles. In the soil, in the water, it enters the food chain. It's a serious pollutant that accumulates and harms health. Then there are dioxins, furans, byproducts of combustion that are also toxic. It's not as clean as it seems. It's not just air. It's a cocktail of pollutants. Now about ethics. We're talking about a final farewell, about respect. But what about those metal implants we mentioned? Pacemakers, prostheses, pins? They're removed, sometimes manually. What happens to them? Melted down? Disposed of? It's no longer part of the person. It's just metal. And it raises questions. How ethical is that? And one more thing. Imagine several bodies may be cremated in the same furnace, one after the other. Of course, they're separated, but microparticles, dust, completely excluding the mixing of microscopic particles is impossible. It doesn't mean you'll get someone else's ashes, but it means the purity and individuality of the process aren't absolute. These are all hidden aspects. They're not discussed at funerals. They're not mentioned in crematory ads. But they exist. And they make you wonder, is cremation really the clean and simple choice we imagine? Or are we just turning a blind eye to an inconvenient truth? We just revealed some of the hidden secrets of cremation, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. Subscribe to Mysteries of the Spirit to not miss the next shocking truths that will change the way you look at the world forever. And hit the like button if you want more exposé videos like this.